Hi, in this video, I will tell you guys about the flow of goods when we buy from the other country, which is Korean, China, Japan, and the others.
I will tell you guys about the logistics first. Okay, what is logistics? Logistics is generally the detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation. Logistics is the management of the flow of things between the point of origin to the point of consumption to meet the requirements of customers or corporation. It may include tangible goods such as materials, equipment, and supplying, as well as food and other consumable items. It usually involves the integration of information flow, materials handling, production, packaging, inventory, transportation, and warehousing. When we move to the supply chain management, it is a system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources involved in supplying a product or service to a consumer. Supply chain activities involve the transformation of natural resources, raw materials, and components into a finished product that is delivered to the end of customers. So you guys can see this is some examples of supply chain.
Okay, so today I would like to talk about flow of goods from China to Malaysia. Once we have ordered our goods and the seller noticed the order from buyer, there's have several types of documentation that have been used for international logistics. So next is proforma invoice. After the seller receives an inquiry about one or more of products that may include a request for a quotation, in an international transaction, the code would be provided as a proforma invoice. It is because our international prospect may need a proforma invoice to arrange for financing, to open a letter of credit, to apply for the proper import license, and more. Okay, for proforma invoice specifies the buyer and seller in this transaction, the price, and the details description about the goods. Then, once you have sent a proforma invoice to our international prospects and received their order, the seller needs to prepare the goods for shipping, including the paperwork. This invoice is one of the most important part because it included most of the details of the entire export transaction from start to finish. Go through to packing list. Okay, freight forwarder may use these types of information to create the bills of lading for the shipment. Bank may require a detailed packaging list be included into the set of documents. Okay, then the packing list is to identify the location of certain packed item that they want to examine. After we finish the packing list documentation, it must go to a bank draft, an important part of the international sales process for transferring control of the exported goods from the seller in exchange for funds from the buyer. It's also called as a documentary collection because the seller attached various documents to a bank draft. After settle with the document of bank draft, shipper's letter also the important between the seller and goods. It is because freight forwarder who usually arrange the transport of your goods with a carrier and helps to ensure taken care of all the details. Okay, this is the most important part in logistics trade, which is identify what kind of transport that corresponding based on situation. Okay, based on this situation, airplanes are the most suitable means of transportation to do and exporting and importing the goods. Okay, what is AWB documentation? Okay, it can call airway bill also. Okay, it is the documentation that accompanies goods shipped by an international air courier to provide detailed information about the shipment and allow it to be tracked. Okay, the goods Okay, then after the AW bill documentation is ready, the goods will ship out at EMS Transit. Then the goods will arrive at MyCool, which is transit from China to Malaysia. Goods taken from any country and brought into Malaysia. At this point, all the supporting documents are required, such as import license, certificates and permit. Before the goods go to their customers, we should decide what kind of transportation that is suitable to make a delivery. Once the goods has reached at Malaysia, and there will be a change in terms of transportation, which is we use road freight as our main transportation. As usual, there is documentation that involved when we use the road freight. Okay, the documentation is CMR Transport. CMR Transport is constitutes a proof of the contract of carriage by road. These documents includes the instruction that the exporter or the importer gives to the carrier, so it necessarily has to accompany the goods in road transport. Okay, the road transport is lorry or van. Okay, after the document has been processed and approved at the port, the goods will place at hub, which is Post Laju Parcel Hub. It is to make sure that the item has been processed. After the item have fully finished process, the consignment dispatched out from transit office for delivery to customers. Door to door delivery, because we use road transport as the main transportation at Malaysia.